Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to do a new stamp set that is called Garden Grandeur. Now, this one is not available yet. It is a hostess stamp set also, or host, actually. It's host. Host set. We used to call them hostesses sets, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows? That means that you have to have a party of 150 or more. Whether you have that with yourself or with your friends, it's pretty easy actually to spend that much in an order if you have just a even couple other people with you. So you could do it online and easily get this stamp set. It's a really cute one. This one's an easy one to stamp with and have some really neat results with it. So I think you'll enjoy looking at how easy that one is to do today. It's kind of gray here because we had a really super major rainstorm last night. In fact, man, it kept Jeff and I awake some because it was so much lightning and thunder. Oh my goodness, it was so noisy. All right, so I am going to try to put my camera down and get going. Now, remember, this stamp set is, it's actually not available until May, you know. So if you want to get it, you're going to want to, let me move this over here. Let me move this over like this. There we go, that's better. And make sure I know where everything is. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right, I think I'm good now. So yeah, my lighting might be messed up today. I hope it isn't, but it might be because it's so dark out because of the clouds and all. Normally we have, I keep thinking I'm shifting the wrong way, but I don't think I am actually. Okay. All right, so let me see if my cord's dangling in the way. My battery is not what it could be anymore, so I kind of need to keep myself plugged in here. So excuse me while I adjust that. Hopefully that won't pop out and dangle down again because that always drives me crazy. We have some really nice colors. These are our new in colors. Oh man, you're gonna really enjoy seeing these. There's, you know, just a delicious assortment. These are nice summery colors, aren't they? And so I think today there's Sweet Sorbet, Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, and Parakeet Party. So today I'm going to use Parakeet Party and Orchid Oasis. Those are the two that I'm going to mainly be using. And I'm going to throw in an old retired color too, just because I want to get this lovely orange going here with it. Now, this is what I'm going to end up with. Hopefully something close to it. It's going to be, probably just a little bit, you know, different than that. I like to be able to copy it, and I try to, but it's pretty hard to do an exact copy of things. You can, like I said, you can try, but it's just kind of hard to get an exact copy because what I did is I just took our white cardstock. Let me grab a sheet here. Got a bunch of stuff on the side. And I just had some fun stamping these flowers. They're really easy to stamp out. So since I just used a random pattern, I don't know if it's going to end up being the same. We'll find out as we go. And I like to do it on a pretty big sheet. That way I can crop it however I want to, because I might like one side more than another. Let me see how that is with that light on, if that helps or makes it worse. Let me turn it down a little bit. Let's try that one. That first setting better. Yeah, that's a little bit better, not quite so bright. And that one, let's tone you down a little on the side here. All right, now my video is, I don't know why my video is fading there and in and out. I can see it's doing the same thing it's been doing, and I'm so annoyed with that. So I apologize for I guess my internet, I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to have to call them and find out why they have slowed our internet down, because I can see it's not running very well, and it should be. All right, because there's absolutely nothing going on. We had a lot of wind yesterday, but it is not windy today, so we can't even blame it on that. All right, so also, while I am out here today doing this, I am going to ask you a few questions. If anybody's on with me, make sure you share my videos. I really appreciate it when you do that. Helps to get things out and about. And, all right, get my cleaning thing out here. Let me grab a couple of ink blocks. Not sure exactly how big of a one I'm going to end up needing. Now, these are photopolymer stamps, which makes it really nice. And I'm going to just use, these are the outline ones. They're outline stamps with leaves. And then these are the fill colors. They call it the second step, step 2 stamp. I just call them the fill color. They fill. And sometimes those are hard to figure out how it fits in. These actually were much easier than some stamp sets that we've had in the past that are first and second stamp set things. So yeah, I just see my videos just really struggling up there. I just don't think I can do it. I might have to go off of Facebook, and this just might be another Facebook issue. And if it is, then I'm going to have to go to YouTube. I can actually do this on YouTube. It's just that I won't have the ability to have live chat going at the same time. So I'm just using Orchid and just stamping some random flowers around here. Remember, you're gonna be cutting off some of this, so that's why I'm just kind of doing a random stamp. It doesn't matter that I'm going to be cutting off a lot of what I'm doing. And we'll do the other one. Now this is the other design. We'll stick that on there. This one kind of makes it look like it should be looking up, doesn't it? The direction of this particular flower looks like it should be going up. I don't think I want to do too many of these. Now I'm going to want to do a sentiment too, that's like this one. And I had some of my design on it, and I kind of like that. So we're gonna work towards that. That's another reason I'm not worried about covering a lot of this, because we're gonna get I'm gonna put a design on there. In and out. Just really bizarre. I might have to stop this and try it again if it's gonna be doing that. That just really annoys me greatly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off. I just stamped the same ink color, and then I'm going to stamp that off. This is the big one, and then you just figure out where it goes. And where I figured out it goes, there's this little, the biggest opening there. We're going to put that. Where did that biggest opening go? Let me look and see if I can remember how it went. There, it goes right there. So the biggest opening part on this fill color is actually for this little petal that's kind of tucked in underneath. Okay, well, sort of. You just kind of move it around until you can see where it fits. All right, so what I did is I got it off a little bit right there. I should have turned it just a tiny bit. Let's try another one. Okay, so I'm gonna find the petal that's kind of tucked in underneath. There's just one that's, of the petals, this one's just kind of an odd shaped one, and your biggest opening is gonna go right around there. Or does it? Yes, it does. Well, at least I thought it did. Right now, it's not lining up properly. Let me look here. Okay, there we go, right there. And The other reality is it doesn't really matter all that much. It's not a perfect match anyway, but you do want to keep it from going out and about. Let me try another. Maybe it's this way. I didn't think it was, but maybe it is. No, it's not that one. There it is, right there. It's the smaller one, not the biggest one. Okay, that makes more sense. So it's this, it's this wider gap on the petal goes on that one, this fat one. Okay, let me try it again. Now this time, since I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna put this down here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you've got this, there's a smallest gap, biggest gap, these little teeny tiny ones, and then there's this widest gap right here. That is going on this petal. That's the very fattest, widest one. Okay, and as you're laying it on here, you can kind of see where it's fitting so that all these little ends stay inside that flower. Okay, so let me find it again. There's that petal. That's the one I'm trying to find. Oh, I think I saw some lightning out there just now. Maybe that's what's interfering with my signal. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. All right, I want to keep my what is it called? Orchid Oasis. I want to keep it out because I'm not done with it. I want to do these other little flowers too. My pad's not quite cleaning enough there. All right. So if you were going to be if you got put away in jail for prison, 5 years, if you were going to be, see here my thunder? I see cardinals flying around out front too, like they're scared. They're getting in for cover somewhere. I love the cardinals here. Jeff and I hear a lot of birds that we've never heard before, and we finally realized they are the cardinals. We saw them singing in the tree. Once I put out the seed, we started getting a bunch of them in our yard, and I should have done it earlier in the season, but I didn't. Okay, now with this one, it's much easier to tell. You can see right here, this little spot is going right there. So this one's really easy to do. Again, though, if you get it off a little bit, it's not going to make any difference. It's really, really forgiving. Just do the best you can. That's why this would be such a good one. If you are a demonstrator already, and you, if you just want to have a party with people coming over to stamp with you so that you can earn free gifts, because that's the point of the host set, is that it gives you something to, a little gift for having a group of people come over to your house or do it online with you. And this would be a really fun set actually to do that with. And then anybody at your party, whether it's an online party or not, if they wanted to have a party too and get this set for very little, it's probably only $10 or $12. Usually the host stamp set is very little. This one might be, I don't know, I'd have to look, but it's probably at least $12 just because it has so many stamps on it. Now there's all the rest of these. Oh, I forgot there's a bud. Let's get the bud. The bud's cute. Definitely want the bud. All right, so let's stick the bud. Let's stick the bud here. Get that ink off my block. And let's do one like, I'm gonna want a bunch of leaves in here too, so gotta be careful about getting too many buds going. Stick one there. And buds are gonna be mainly at the top of your flower. Now again though, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna crop this out, so I might even put my sentiment down here instead of up there. We'll see. This is not all going to be one big card. You'll see how I'm just going to be able to cut it up to whatever I want. Now, this is the bud. That's the fill part, so we'll do that same way. You just stamp off. And this one, I'm coming down a bit. It does tend to go out on top if you don't come way down the stem. See, like this, it went up because I didn't go far enough down on the stem. So to prevent that from happening, just come farther down. Better to have a little ink here than the ink up there. Because I'll probably have leaves there for one thing. Now here it's off the page, so it doesn't even matter. So if you were in for 5 years, so you could probably study anything, right? A lot of criminals, they study stuff and have a, quite a lucrative career if they're diligent, while they're getting a free education in the prison system, which is interesting all on its own. I'm sure we're one of the only nations that does that. All right, so now I'm using Parakeet Party. So I guess if it were me, I would take some ag classes. There's a great agriculture whole system that's going here in our school systems. They just opened a school that is going to have all kinds of really cool agriculture programs for 6th graders and up. And I was thinking, man, if that had been available for me when I was a kid, I would have loved that. Would have been a really nice way to get a start on my horticultural career, which I never had, which I would have loved had I known. Oh, well. I didn't really know I loved plants as much as I did kind of. I always loved plants. I remember trying to get plants to grow in our little house. My mother didn't know how to do anything like that, and I was raised by my mother, so I did not have any knowledge really of what I liked, because she did not know how to encourage that in herself or anyone else, poor thing. All right. She did the best she could, okay? I'm not faulting her for that. Part of it was just the time. Growing up in the 60s and 70s, you pretty much were, out of luck if you didn't grow up in a family that was a strong family. All right. Let's see here. Let's put one more little leaf there. Life's been good. God is good anyway. So yeah, I would do agriculture. That'd be great. I bet there are all kinds of agriculture online courses I could take. That would have been good. Now here's these little teeny tiny leaves. This is the thing I love about this set too. The petals are shaped the way flower petals are. Although, because it's called Garden Grandeur, you don't really know what kind of flower it is, and I'm grateful. There's not many flowers that have this color. So I'm just pretending it's a flower. I do not need to know the name of it. If I don't know the name of it, then I don't care that my color scheme is all off to what, you would have with flowers of this shape. Does not matter. It's a pretend flower. All right, let's see. You look like you actually go this way. So let's do you that way. Like here. See, so it has 2 leaves that have this lovely little curve under it. It's really nice. All right, so I'm just going to stick a couple of those in there, and then we're going to get the other one out. This is what I did with it, just playing, just seeing. What does it do? What does it look like? We did that one, and then there's this one. That's another leaf. That's just this funky little curved leaf. Let's see. Let's put you like right here. Look at that. So cute. And another one like right there. Well, the rain is coming. Lots and lots and lots of rain. It's supposed to be a rainy whole, not week, but rainy for the next 2 days. Very rainy. And it's looking like it's going to be. There is some lightning. Maybe that is what was interfering with the internet. I guess I could give my internet service the benefit of the doubt. And do you hear that? I love the storms. Jeff and I have just really enjoyed it. It's been wonderful because it doesn't do it all the time. You know, if it did it all the time, I'd be annoyed, but it doesn't. It's nice. We had to wait for months and months where we lived before to get a good rainstorm with thunder and lightning. But here, you can probably get one, at least one good go every month. Okay. At least that's been our experience so far. We're still pretty new. I have to remember, it's so funny how quickly you acclimate to wherever you are, and it feels like you've been there forever, when actually you're still a real newbie. So I have to be careful not to act or sound like I actually know what I'm talking about, because I don't. I'm new. Okay, they're this little teeny tiny leaves that don't really match up, but I'm putting them in anyway. They're like the little teeny tiny tops of your plant. Okay. All right, and if I do my sentiment up here, I'm gonna want some of that in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this and that. And do that down here too, even though I might not be using any of this still, just to be consistent. All right, now there are little fill pieces. Oh, I forgot, there's this 3-leaf one I haven't used yet, and it's actually my favorite one, so let's stick you in there. Now, one thing when you're doing this, and I've kind of overdone it a little bit, just to show you what's going on here, leaving some white space is actually beneficial to your design. I've kind of gone a little crazy here, but just a word of help that, yeah, actually leaving a little bit of open cut white isn't bad. Okay, as I proceed to fill it all in, I realize. Okay, there we go. Now I am gonna fill those little leaves. There's actually 1, 2, 3. There's this one. There's some lightning. Did you see that? Okay, so this is the fill. I stamped it off for the big big ones, the double ones. Okay, and if I didn't stamp it off, it would just be pretty dark. And I want to use this same parakeet color. I don't really want to change and get more of any other color going. When you get all these leaves on, it's sometimes hard to identify where's the double. So I've got so many. There's a double. It just does a little bit. It doesn't do a lot. If you want more, you can always do more. But I'm wanting just a little bit. Okay, is there any others that are the doubles? Don't think so. Okay, so now we'll get out the other ones. There's little tiny fill colors. There's one here. There's a fatter one and a skinnier one. So let's get the fatter one. The fatter one is going to go with this leaf right there. You can kind of see how it just fills that in. It would overlap on the skinny one. So as you can see, this takes a little bit of time when you're making such a big, you know, I'm filling this whole page. If you were a beginner, you wouldn't, if you were trying to get a a first-time stamper to do this, just have them practice a little bit and then cut out the sheet they're going to cover and then just work on that. But this actually is not a bad technique to just get people the confidence of just putting this ink down. It's really easy to do once you kind of get the hang of it, but until you've done it a bit, it's not as easy as you might think, because if you rock your stamp, it does stuff, you know. So it just takes a little bit of practice to get used to just putting your block flat down, and also, as I'm doing, remembering to stamp off each time. And then if you get stuff on the sides, you want to get that cleaned off, because otherwise, when you do accidentally rock your stamp, which you eventually are going to at some point, you're going to probably rock it. And then if you do, you'll get ink where you don't want it. Okay, where are all those skinny? I see a whole bunch of lightning out my window. Our porch is not covered. I mean, our front porch is, but it's a very small front porch, so... Woohoo, that was a good one. Hi, Andy. How are you? Yes, my cardinal. Yes, the cardinals are really nice. It has been so nice to be able to actually, Andy, if you're still there, we had two, not just one, but two blue jays come and fly in and use our feeders quite a lot. And they, oh man, they are beautiful. So I'm really excited. Oh, snowed? No way. It snowed there. Are you telling me an April Fool joke? I cannot believe it snowed. Oh my goodness. It must be. I don't feel so bad about our weather being kind of cold and drizzly then. It's not actually cold. It was cool. And last week and this week it's warmed up pretty well. I mean, it's still cool for this time of the year because it's in the 60s. But it feels nice out there. This morning when I went out, I was like, well, I don't really even need a coat. It's pretty nice. It's wet. It's very wet. It's actually pretty nice. And as the summer progresses, if it feels damp and humid at all, actually it's more like just being at the beach. It's nothing like the humidity here is nothing like in the South. I've never been to the South, but I've been to Thailand and to Manila. And that kind of humidity is what I suspect is the same as what is in the South, because that's what I've heard. It's kind of oppressive. You're damp all the time. Well, that's what it was like, and it's not like that here. At least we haven't experienced that kind of humidity here yet. It still probably is coming. We just have lucked out. Okay, now there's actually a couple of these little fill ones, and I'm using just one because ooh, that was a good one. Did you hear that? That was a loud one. Okay. Now there's two more. So here's this one. Let me find the other little teeny tiny one. The other little teeny tiny one is skinnier, and it looks different. But they're almost exactly the same. You can kind of use them both the same. If you do one instead of the other, I don't think it's going to matter so much. So again, another reason why this is a really good set for someone new. Like me, apparently, because I'm enjoying it so much. All right. So Andy, did you get to play out in the snow since it snowed? Was it enough to actually do anything? Like, I know it wouldn't be enough to probably do a snowman or anything like that. We never get that kind of snow, right, at this time of the year. And hopefully it was just not ice. That's what you get here if it snows. You don't get just snow. You're going to get ice too. All right, my cord won't stay up here. Why? I need to get some tape or something to do it, apparently. Maybe it won't interfere. I'll put my block on it and maybe it'll be okay. All right, so now the other thing I wanted to do, this flower color is really nice, but I kind of wanted it to just pop out. And there's not going to be a lot of popping with blue. Blue is a color that's really calming in the garden and pretty and all of that, but it's sort of one of those colors that fades to the background and just doesn't jump out. That's one reason why people really gravitate to magenta and orange and yellow and bright red, because those tend to just jump out at you. But I actually prefer blue and yellows, but I wanted this to jump out. So here's my purple papaya and a So Saffron. I don't need So Saffron. I don't know why you're with me here. I think I've lost my light So Saffron or something. So here's purple papaya blending pins. I do want to use that. I think I'm going to pull out my pineapple punch. Still using that. And then the one last thing that I wanted to use on this flower, because I didn't really want the sorbet. The sorbet is too red, white, and bluish. I don't want 4th of July colors here. This is supposed to be purple, in fact. So even though it's kind of bluish, since Orchid Oasis is kind of on the blue side, I'm gonna grab out my Highland Heather, and we're gonna make it a little bit of purpley, because I want purple. Most flowers that are called blue are actually purple when you get right down to it. There are very, very few actually blue flowers in the flower world. So I'm going to grab out for this nice orangey, just to kind of liven it up. You could use anything, I suppose, but I'm going to use my Tangerine Tango. Now that's a color we haven't seen for a while. I would love to have it come back, and it's not. So this is a marker, which is much different than a blending pen. So it's not going to blend. I'm going to save that to the end because I want to use my blending pens first. Let's try to turn some of this purple. I'm going to use the dark Highland Heather, and because this Orchid Oasis has purple in it, this is just going to bring the purple out. It's not going to, is this Orchid Oasis? I mean, is this? No, it's Purple Posy. I was thinking that doesn't look purple, that looks pink. Let me find the correct pin. I don't think I left it out. I think it's in here somewhere. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay, so here's Highland Heather. That'll work better. All right, there we go. So as you can see, this is pretty dark and it's very purpley. But it's going to make my Orchid Oasis appear to be a little more purpley. So I'm just following some of these lines just right at the base of the flower. Just a little on each one, and then just a little bit here. I don't need to get too carried away on the bud. Just a little on the base. And in that center, kind of want that to be maybe a little on the top. Just a little. Oh, I hear the rain coming down really good. My video's still freezing up too, I see. Like it's totally frozen. Sorry, I see my video is just totally freezing up on you all the time. I wonder if it's me. I suspect it is. It's not my computer, it's my internet connection, but it also could be that it's stormy here. Who knows? All right. This is what happens when I could do this not live and record it, and then there would be no freezing up. But then I wouldn't have the pleasure of talking to you. So you never answered my question. Did you leave? About the snow? What did you do? What did you do? All right, and then I'm gonna take my I'm not gonna do too much with the light Highland Heather because I actually don't want it to get too purpley there, just a little. We'll just do a little bit here. Anywhere there's white, don't color it. You don't want to color the white part. Just the purple, or well, the Orchid Oasis part. I'm just covering up some of that Orchid Oasis and making the hue of purple that's actually in that ink come out a little more. Just bringing it out. If it was a more purpley ink, I wouldn't be doing this part of it at all because it would be purple enough. But I'm just finding Orchid Oasis to be not purple enough. It's a little blue. Are you blue? Yes, it is. Oh, I didn't leave. I answered. You did? So what did you do? It didn't say. Say it again. What did you do in the snow? Did you get to run around in it? And it wasn't enough to make a snowman, I'm sure. I was just curious about how much snow you got, how long it lasted, and all of that. Did it happen in the middle of the night or was it during the daytime? That's always exciting when it's happening in the daytime. All right, now I think I'm ready. I want to get some yellow going in here in the very center. So here's my dark pineapple punch. That's the most yellow pen Stampin' Up! Used to have. They don't have it anymore. And I wish I'd bought a bunch more of them. It's a really nice yellow. It's a nice, clear, bright yellow. Because I was going into that ink that's blue and purple, I cleaned that there. That's all that was about on the side. And now I think what I need to do is take some of this. I think I can use the light, but let me check the dark papaya. Yeah, that's a little bit on the dark side. I don't know. Let's start with the light and see what happens. I just want to put it where it's white. That looks pretty good, actually. Let's try a little dark and see what the difference is. I might like that in there too. So let's do some of that on the edge, on those lines. Again, I'm just coloring the white part, and I'm not doing the undersides because I'm going to take my Tangerine Tango and color all those undersides. So I'm not really, if it goes into it, fine, because I can cover it, but I am not going to bother coloring that part. I think when I first got out of high school, I took some college classes in color and design, and I stank at it. But actually, I'm not too terrible at it. If I had maybe a different teacher, I might have actually done better in it. Who knows? So that if you're in prison, you got nothing to lose. Shoot, I might do something like that. That'd probably be fun for me anyway. Okay, during the morning you close. Oh, it closed roads. Oh, high winds. Oh no, low visibility. I am so sorry, Andy, because actually that sounds pretty scary. I'm going to take Pale Papaya because the reason it sounds scary is because people aren't as smart as you. They didn't stay off the roads. I know they told everybody it's really bad and you should stay off the roads, and I bet they didn't. And then there's always those accidents that happen. School's not done yet, so they must have closed. I bet they closed schools today then, all around, around the Tri-Cities, didn't they? I hope so. Now here in Missouri, it's kind of nice. They get those calls out quickly. Jeff was always at school before they, I mean, seriously, every single time. I don't think he was, and he didn't care so much. So, I mean, it's not like he could have stayed home and waited to the last minute, but, no, he's an early bird, so he's always there early, and so he was always there at the building before they called it. Here they call it in the night before most of the time. I suppose there might have been one where they called it in the morning. I don't remember, but here he's not having to worry about it so much because he's just substituting. He's not in charge of a classroom. So that's partly why it didn't bother him in the Tri-Cities that he was always at the school building before they called that school was closed, because it just gave him a lot of time with no students to get some extra work done. So he never really minded that. It was more annoying as a paraeducator because it's like, seriously? Oh my goodness. Anyway, now you're going to want to take the fatter side, but don't push hard. Just gentle, gentle, because you don't want a ton of ink going around here. The marker is better than the blending pen in that it doesn't bleed into the cardstock so much. Because this is a very dark, it's not like your blending pens that are very opaque. It actually is going to cover up some of that dark ink pretty nicely there. But that's not something you want to happen on all the detailed lines anyway. So that's another reason why you don't want to get too carried away. So I'm just coloring the undersides that are turned and peeking up on the above the flower, and then just to add in a little bit of this tangerine tango to those centers just to make it look like it belongs and it's not quite so false. Now some flowers do have beautiful undersides of the petals. Not many, but some do. So I'm going to turn this one into that kind of flower that has really dark, cool undersides of their petals. I don't know if it's because those are weaker varieties, or I know they're more expensive. Usually flowers that are like that are a more expensive variety. So I don't know if it is because it's just a weaker gene that causes that. I don't know. Now, I don't want to get too carried away on the bud. If it's an undersided petal, it's not going to show on a bud too much. Actually, it would, I suppose, there. But oftentimes, you know, it doesn't. So I don't want to do too much there. Okay, I'm still hearing a lot of thunder. A lot of storming going on. Pretty nice. Since I'm all tucked inside or it's warm and dry, it wouldn't be nice if I was not. Let's see, I think that's actually an underside right there. I kind of missed that before on my other card. Okay, let's see here. What's another question for you? Let me look on my little list over here. I have some that are very interesting, like this one. Do you believe the expiration dates on stuff? Because you can, if you go to Big Lots and the dollar store, a lot of times you can get things that are very, very close to your expiration date. That's why you're able to buy it for a very, very deep discount, right? So when I say do you believe those expiration dates, I guess what I'm actually saying is, do you follow them? Do you are there any things that you think are more likely to be a risky thing to consume if you consume it past the expiration date? And some things probably are riskier than others. Like, I'm sure we can all agree that milk is something you're not going to You're not going to push the envelope on that one. If it says it's expired, you're probably not going to buy it, and it wouldn't be buyable anyway. They get that stuff off the shelves. Anything that's expired, they are supposed to get it off the shelves, and they do, generally. I think one time I was at a store where my favorite dressing, that was the kind that's yogurt and in the dairy case, was expired. I was glad I'd looked at the expiration before actually purchasing it, because I had brought some home that were pretty close, and it was a yogurt-based one. So, yeah, anything with dairy, I definitely do not want it. If it's close to the expiration date, it won't last long. Those are pretty accurate. I used to give our kids potato chips that were expired, and they would complain, and I would test them and give them ones that weren't and give them ones that were. They couldn't tell the difference. They were perfectly fine. I ate them. They didn't hurt anybody, and they were expired, I do have to admit. Okay, so there's your back that you're going to do on. You could do some stuff on the, the leaves if you wanted to, but you definitely don't need to. But I do want to put my little happy, happy, happy. That is from our biggest wish. So I'm going to use this big happy one. Oh, do you hear all that thunder? It's pretty exciting, huh? Eggs. Oh, eggs. Yes, you definitely don't want to do expired eggs. That's one sometimes, Andy, are you ever questioning that when you go in and you think they're in there, but you think how long they're supposedly fresh, okay, or fresh, kind of fresh. So if you've had real fresh eggs, you know the difference. Real fresh eggs opposed to your just standard store so-called fresh eggs, sometimes they just aren't as fresh, let's say. Okay, I'm gonna do my happy, happy up here because I want this as my label. So I'm going to do one solidly happy. This is also Tangerine Tango because I happen to have a whole bunch of it. Let's see, maybe I can do it here. Let's try that. Let's try it here, and then I'm going to just do another one, like right over it, right there, okay? Now, just in case that doesn't work out, and I don't like what that does, I'm going to do another one down here. Okay, we'll do one strong right here and the lighter version right there. Okay, now I've got two possible labels. I'll use one of those. I don't know which one. We'll see. I want to see which. I'm going to need to put my camera like way up here because I'm going to need to bring out the old cutting machine. All right, let's put these things away first. Nope. Right there. Okay. And I think our stitched rectangles aren't going away. I certainly hope not. I use them a bunch. I'm going to use the largest one to decide which flowers am I going to use. There. If I do that, then I'll have to turn it like that because I want the buds to be up. So it looks like, because I want to use that as a label, I like this one better than that one. So I can do this. No. That one will interfere with my label quite a bit. I'm going to kind of have to do it right here. I don't know if I like that as much. Maybe I'll take one of my happies up here. Do that. What do you think? I don't want half of the happy. I have to either have all of the happy or none of the happy. Let's see, I could do one here, but I don't like that. I think I'm gonna just stick with this. We're gonna go right there. So because that's the case, grab my cutting board. one down and that down. Stick that right on there, and we'll cut this out right here. Well, let's get more of that upper flower. That's going to be your card, and then we'll get our label. And there's going to be, I could use this part too for some other card. I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll get a different. Is that one wide enough? No, that one's not quite wide enough. Let me grab a different one. Put that one away. Which one are we using? No, it is that one. It's got to be that one. I just am going to use it a little differently. Because it's not quite, I moved it over a little too much. So I'm going to go here and there. So let me cut this. Like, maybe I'll just do it like that. Take that off. This label's just going to be a little different than my other label was. So do you think cows are mad that we take their milk? Anybody who's been on a farm knows that's not the case. They actually are quite relieved that you're milking them because it's probably not. Isn't that cute? You know, you just can't go wrong with that. Just stamp it up, lay it out. It's gonna be beautiful. Wow, I still hear that thunder just rolling and rolling. Did you hear that one? It's like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, so we're gonna let's take this, the Orchid Oasis and some Peacock, and I'm gonna trim that Orchid Oasis down, but I don't know if that's pretty, or it's not pretty peacock. I keep calling it that, but it's not that. It's something else. What is it? It's parakeet, not peacock. It's parakeet party. All right. Oh, good. Could you hear that then, Andy, the thunder? All right, so let's measure this really quick. That stitched rectangle is actually 3 and just a hair over 3/4. So if I have my purple, or not purple, yeah, Oasis, my Oasis, Orchid Oasis card, if I do it at 4 inches, that should be the right width there. And my length actually is 5.5. Let's shorten it up though, because I don't want it to, I want to be able to see some of that parakeet party. So we'll just shorten that up. Hopefully it'll be long enough. Woohoo, that was a loud one. And then because I did that, I'm going to have to just make the sides just a shade narrower. So we end up with just tiny, tiny Orchid Oasis border, just enough to give that color. And then we'll be able to see all of that wonderful peacock, not peacock, parakeet. Parakeet. Now, another thing that I did that was nice for this card, this is a punch that's leaving, and I think everybody has it. It's been in our catalog for so long that I was shocked they were getting rid of it. It's our trio punch. It has 3 wonderful little useful card punches right on one punch. And I love that. I don't use this one all that much, but I really like it. So I decided, so I can see that Orchid Oasis color through there. I'm gonna do that on these corners. And then it gives me an opportunity too to let you know this is on sale like for 12 bucks right now. So if you do not have, oops, I screwed that one up. Oh man, what a dope. Oh well, we're gonna live with it. If you don't have this punch, you need to get it. Don't wait. Go over right now. It's going to sell out, I would think, quickly at that price. It's a punch, okay, for $12. You don't get that very often, especially one that's a 3-in-1 punch, and actually a really good 3-in-1 punch, too. All right, let's see. So do you think that the first time, think about when corn, you know, popcorn, you put grow the kind that pops. If you've ever grown those decorative corn stalks, some of those colored, multicolored corn cob things that you can grow, they actually do pop. You can make popcorn out of it. And if you put it in the fire, it will probably pop. At least that was the claim. I never bothered to try to do it because I had a hard enough time. Corn is a high feed, very high, heavy fertilizer feeder. And so my corn just never turned out well enough to be able to do anything much like that with it. Anyway, I grew it for decorating. And we had barely enough for that, so. But if you actually were the first, imagine being the first person to find out that some popcorn, when you put it in the fire, like it's all wrapped up in its husk, and you put it in the fire, if it popped, do you think it scared people? Yeah, I do. I think it would have scared them. All right, so let's stick that in the center there. Okay. That is that. And now we'll just put dimensionals on here. And this kind of covers up where my little buds are sort of just hanging there out in the middle of nowhere. There was some lightning. That was exciting. You could put a ribbon on here, but boy, you don't need it, do you? There's some more lightning and thunder. This is an exciting storm. Would football be different? Here's another question for you. Would football be different if women were the referees instead of men? I don't think there's a lot of female referees in football. Why is that? I don't really know why that is. That's kind of interesting, in fact, all on its own. Especially these days. But if they were actually the referees, would it be different? I hope not. I don't think it would be. I mean, who knows? Sports has been totally trashed by so many things. I don't know. It might be. I don't think I want to worry about it. It might be. Okay, let's see if my parakeet party is not too big. I was thinking it was, but it's actually not. It's fine. All right, so this is just your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of card folded, or 8 oh sheesh, look at you. Rip you off before you totally stick because you're not on there properly. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I use that adhesive on this part of my card. That's what always happens. So I won't use it. I'll use something else, and we'll get that on there a little nicer. Let's slide, slide. There we go. Beautiful. And since I didn't measure correctly, apparently, trim off that end. It's hanging out there. Got some white hanging off the sides, driving me nuts. Okay, there we go. Now we're all set. Aren't those cute? All right, that is that. That was a quick one. There's one other one that I have that's also a host set. This one is Begin with a Dream. Begin with a Dream has got this kindness changes the world one heart at a time. So this one is a super easy one and quick to do. So let's just do it really fast here. I'm going to use this extra piece of white that I have. We'll stamp up the people with some, actually, I don't want to use that white. Let's find a better piece. There we go. And get some Memento Black. This is just your extra today. This Begin with a Dream is cute. Put these little people here. All right, and now you've got a nice little heart in this set. We'll use the center, okay, but we'll just take this heart. Where's my other block? Where are you? Where did you go? This isn't large enough, is it? Barely. I don't know where my other block went that I wanted. All right, so I'm going to just stamp up part of this heart. This time I am using our sweet sorbet, and I only want it to go, I don't want it to cover her up at all. So I'm going to do half of it. Kind of look, I want part of the top. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Checking again. There we go. Not bad. I could have come down a little bit more there, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I can use my pen to kind of correct it. Better to err that way than to have it covering her. So we'll put that away. Then for the fill part, this part is just a freebie for you, because that one you could throw it away, and I'm keeping it. Let's take off a little bit of the edge so it's not on her. Okay, we'll just take some of that off and stamp that there. Oops, there we go. All right. And then you can color it in. And then for your sentiment that you're going to want to do, in fact, let me stamp this before I put away my black, because I'm gonna, this "You Make a Difference" is nice. Okay, so we've got that. Oops, why does that, let's do it there. It's kind of, I don't know why it's acting up. It is, it's acting up. There we go, that was better, but I don't have enough. I have to do it again. All right, I'm flipping it over so I can do it again, because I need enough of the, yeah. Whatever. I need the flag part. There needs to be, it needs to be like a little flag. We've got some new dies that have that little flag, and it's pretty cool. All right, excuse me for that loud cough, like right in your ear. Sorry about that. There's a nice little globe. I'm just not going to use that this time, but it is a nice globe. For the stamp part with the words, you're going to need to use your markers. So These are our in-color markers, and I'm only using Peacock Party, Orchid Oasis, that's Starry Night, Orchid Oasis, and Sweet Sorbet. Okay, so the dark one's gonna last the longest as I do it, and the red. So let's color Kindness first. Okay, get all of that colored good. Okay, and the word the. And one. And at a time. Now you do have to work a little fast here, but not terribly. And then red, let's do the red, which is actually Sweet Sorbet. That will do for the word heart. And changes, because I want that word changes to jump out, because change is the hardest thing for humans to do. And the whole point is that unless you become a nicer person, the world around you probably won't either. And we all kind of know that. That's why we tell our kids to be kind, because it is one of the hardest things to do when someone's not being nice to you. All right, so the world. Now we want world to be in green, just for the heck of it. Just because I wanted a different color for world. If you were a greenie, then you would like to be green. Right now, our world here is getting really green with all this rain. It is raining a ton out there, and our grass has greened up really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that there with lots of room around it for a circle stamp. Just make sure you get all of that marker cleaned off your stamp pretty quickly. You don't want to leave that on there because it'll permanently color it, and which probably wouldn't even hurt it, but it doesn't look all that nice. Okay, there we go. And then for the colors for this, you're gonna want to have all of your nice new Stampin' Up! People blends. And then you can do a multicultural line of people if you like. Let's see, what have I got here? We've got, this one is 700. Let's see how you look. That's pretty good, so we'll do that for him. One of them is so dark, it's really hard to see the actual person, especially since they're so tiny here. So that is the one problem with the darkest version that we've got. Let's see. This one's 500. It's going to be darker than that. Okay. I'm not going any darker than that. Let's go with something lighter. What have I got in here that's lighter? I think that's the 700 that I used. I don't want that. Let's see. Here's Ivory. This one is 100. Now that should be pretty light. It is. He's a real whitey. We'll do her there too. Okay, so you've got not really multicultural, but you've got something going there that's close. And you can make it more so if you want. You just buy those pens, you're gonna be all set. Here's my yellow. This guy's hair just is like screaming out for super blonde. I don't know why, he just is. You don't see a lot of that hairstyle anymore. Not a lot. Okay. Grab some I think this is, oh, this is 600. So this is actually another people color. But we'll give it to her for hair and him too. And we'll do our basic black for her. All right, there you go. And then you can color your people all the colors that you want. You can use your markers. These are so small that it's not going to matter. You know, you won't really need your blending pens. Just try to do lines. Don't press too hard. And then you can just use your markers on this one. This is pretty small. The blending pens are useful to keep all of those lines out of, you know, of sight when you're doing especially large areas, but even with this size, sometimes that can help. But my pens right now are really juicy because they're brand new, so it's working pretty good. I'm gonna put a stripe in there. Okay, and then let's see, am I using blue? Did I use orchid? I think I did. I think I used orchid. Let's use the teeny tiny color of there. Try to get my stripe going. Okay. Let's do parakeet party for him. And the pants. And parakeet, nope, yeah, that's Orchid Oasis, that's correct. Oops. They're just all wearing jeans, okay? It makes it a lot easier. Other than a couple of them, they're just all wearing jeans. We'll give her a blue shirt. There you go. And if you want to, you can put stripes in it. If you got a little sloppy, just put some stripes in it. It'll be fine. There we go. Whew, she's got a little extra on her shoulder there. Let's do another blue one. No, let's not. Let's do, that one was, I was having trouble with that. Let's give her a green shirt as well. And if you want to change it up, then you can make her little shirt match and give her some polka dots. There you go. There's your little people. If your heart is unsatisfactory, you can actually kind of fix that a little bit here. Like that. Like that. Like that. All right, and one more. Let's grab, I need something that's gonna kind of be, gonna blend that in a little bit, that sweet sorbet that I just did, and I don't want it to be changing the color of sweet sorbet. So I am gonna pull out, this is yellow red, this is a Copic pen. And it's not going to really blend with that because it's a marker, but it's just going to kind of smooth that out a little bit. There we go, in here. Just to kind of smooth my little lines a little bit there. And I do have a sweet sorbet pen, so let's give it a go. Maybe I should have used that instead. Let's see what it does. I think I'm gonna have to like color all the way across. That's one reason I didn't pull it out and do it. So I knew I'd end up having to color all the way across here. I didn't really want to commit to that, but I am doing it anyway. Let's get the other end. There. Okay, there you go. You can put little eyes. I don't know that it makes a difference in that. I had a little Bible stamp that I did for this, which I really liked. I might do a different one this time. It actually is this one. It's a nice one. Blessed are they who do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. I thought that was really appropriate with this change. Kindness changes the world's heart, because kindness can't be found in your heart. Humans, we don't have it. Sorry, you can search all you want, but it's not there. So I thought it would be good to do a little reference to where kindness actually is going to come from. If you want to find it in your heart, you got to have God to put it there, because Jesus is the only one who can do that. So, but I am going to just go ahead and do that Bible verse for these people, just to keep us focused on where that kindness actually comes from. Now this is going to be too short, so let's grab out my bigger one. And that one's big enough, but not long enough, so I'll make it longer to cut that out, okay? And we'll put this together pretty quickly. I wonder if I used one of them. Is that even, oh, I didn't even cut that like that, or stitched. I actually want it to be a little larger probably than that. Don't I? I might, because it barely works with that. So let's put this aside. And instead, I'll get out my other set. That is our new one. This is a nice set. I really do like it. This is going to be one of my favorites, if I can find it over here in the corner. Just because I've been wanting some flag ones. I've got punches like that. Has nice stitched square. They're not really stitched. It's a little different, but it is double-sided. So when you take out what you have, this is got nice indentation printing. It's not stitched. It's dots. But it's similar. It looks very close to stitched. And then what is left is also stitched. And I really like that, because sometimes we have, it just helps you use up your scraps that you're left over with sometimes. Helps you use those scraps up better. Alright, so we'll just cut the people out and not worry about a die for them. But I do want a circle for this. And we'll use it's on the other side. I forgot. I have to do it on the other side, because I flubbed that one so many times. All right, there's that. And then we'll flip this over to do this. You make a difference. And I thought the you make a difference was important to this saying. So I really like this stamp set. This, again, it's like I said, it's a host set. You have to have a party for yourself or for you and your friends. You can do it online. If you'd like to do a party with me online, I would love to do that. I can set it up for you. And then you can earn these sets very easily, because these are nice, inexpensive ones to earn. And they're pretty fun to use. They would be a fun one to do right there within your party. When you do it online, then I can encourage whoever's on there with you to help you out by doing one yourself, and then you can also get these stamp sets for free. Or not free, but virtually free. For free, really. It's a modest amount. Yeah, this is a really nice one. So this one's called Stylish Shapes Dies. You're going to definitely want those. Okay. So now we'll just cut this out. I'm not even going to worry about the dimensions. I do want it to be kind of straight, but it's going to be a little crooked, you know, with my people, because I'm not sure that I stamped them on perfectly. And then we'll grab out a piece of sweet sorbet. And just cut that in half. And score that in half at 4 1/4. Okay, fold that. This might hang off the sides, and I'll just trim it. Let's see what we get here. Put it about there. It's pretty close. I am going to have to trim the side off a bit, but not too bad. And then this we want, where did I put my dimensionals away already? That was foolish. Stick that there and there. I think our storm stopped. It's seeming very quiet out there now. It's still raining, I'm sure. It's going to probably rain a lot today. And then this goes right on top of there. And I just didn't even think you needed a ribbon or anything. It's just kind of a cute card. Oh, I do need my flag. I forgot to cut out that flag. Let me cut that out really quick. With this die, I do want that little flag under it. So this one, I'm going to just cut this off on the side. And then I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as far as it leaving a cut edge for you. Okay, when you pull off your die, it leaves this stitching here too. So if you're more careful than I was when I was doing these two flags, it leaves you a void that you can use this piece as well, you know, to make a card. It's just a really handy thing. And not all dies do that. Most dies that are not Stampin' Up! Don't. Stampin' Up! Dies don't all do that, but a lot of them do. Especially these kind of framed ones. All right. Right. Oops, did I get the... No. That will help if I get the backs off for sticking. All right, there we go. Cute. And those are all that we are doing today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to try to put my camera back up again. We'll see if it'll cooperate with me. Yay! I think it did. Yay, it actually did. All right, maybe I've got a better hang of how to do it. I hope so. Anyway, you have a wonderful day, and I am going to have a wonderful day. I got my shopping done already, so I don't have to do that. I'm going to start working with some more new supplies. You're going to love what we've got. So be ready and get in there and get that clearance stuff. It's gone, you know, fast. So there's some things there that you're going to want. So make sure you get in there. If you place an order with me that's $100 or more right now, I am going to send you 20 free handmade, beautiful handmade cards. 20. Yes, for free. And I also am going to include, if you spend $100 in there, I will include a $10 gift certificate that you can use to get $10 off of off of that order. So you will have spent $90 and you will have gotten all those free cards. Also, if you just want to spend $50 with me, I would be happy to send you 10 free cards and a $5 gift certificate. So anyway, you enjoy your day, and thank you so much for watching and sharing, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.